So my name is Gagnon. I'm from Ottawa, Ontario in Canada, and my day job is a vibration technologist for national defense. I do basically testing on vehicles and weapons, that kind of thing. So I built a 1964 Panhead. It's got a 58 transmission. It's in a shovel frame, a rigid shovel frame. It's kind of that combination of maybe, I don't know, tough guy slash a little bit classy. Got some trick parts in there, but still kind of that tough guy stance. Wide glide front end, star hub wheels, you know, kind of a traditional chopper. So my favorite detail about the whole bike is actually the paint combined with the stainless trim on the tank and the tins and stuff like that. I always wanted to do this kind of flat stainless trim, so instead of using round stock, I actually used flat 1/8 304 stainless and then cut them out in single pieces. So yeah, that combined with the leaf. It's variegated gold leaf with like a candy sprayed over top of it. And then a lot of the other stuff I made myself was like the air cleaner and the brake pedal, clutch pedal. I tried to kind of keep with the theme of the tank having that trim on it. It's just a 1/4 inch border kind of wrapping everything. So like the air cleaner, for example, I always loved those Ed Roth bird deflectors. Those are like, I think the coolest, you know, thing you can put on a linker. But I wanted something with an air cleaner in it, and I like bread boxes, so I kind of tried to combine the two of them. So the oil tank, same deal. It's actually an original Harley horseshoe oil tank, and then I added that stainless trim to it again. Fender, same deal. The fender is lowbrow. Added in the trim on that as well, and had it butt up against the sissy bar, so that the sissy bar is all stainless as well. And then, you know, having that trim kind of butt up against it saves the paint, so it's kind of a twofer on that. Yeah, the tail light, this whole setup I designed myself and had it CNC machined out. I always find that the back of tail lights look horrible on a sissy bar, so I tried to make something that was a little more decorative. Yeah, so the leather kind of came about from butt seats. So I hit him up and he had this gator, you know, this kind of embossed gator leather look going on. And so bought that off of him. And then he, you know, after I got the seat back and started going on with the bike, he messaged me. He's like, hey man, you know, I got a bunch of that gator leather kind of kicking around. It made sense at the time. I was gonna do kind of like a stainless with a glass bead interior on these two pieces to kind of bounce off the brushed aluminum on the Panhead, like the raw pan. I don't have a lot of chrome on my Panhead, so kind of wanted to bounce off of that. And then once he sent me the leather, I'm like, it's on. You know, I just started cutting it out and putting it in there as an inlay on all the pieces that I already made. So yeah, it came out pretty sweet. I think the one part that I struggled with the most was actually doing the trim for the oil tank. I use 3D CAD software so that I could cut these out in one piece and not have to like wrap round stock around each bend. It probably took me about 10 tries using cheap 14 gauge steel to kind of get the actual shape correct to wrap around all the stock little bits and weld on pieces and the oil ports and stuff like that. So that one took me the longest. I don't necessarily think it was overly difficult. It was just a lot of back and forth, kind of a lesson in patience, I think. I think maybe what I learned the most was how to use the tools I had to get an effect that maybe I didn't have tooling for. Like for all these layered pieces, you know, if you had a milling machine, you could probably just take a 1/4 inch piece of stainless and mill out a pocket on it. But I didn't have that, so I tried to use what I had to kind of, you know, make stuff that had the same appearance. Ended up costing me a lot in argon and a lot of welding and stuff like that to get it done, but it's still cheaper than a milling machine, so. Ride's pretty good, actually. It's a little sketchy at slow speeds with those bars and that front end, but it does ride pretty nice. It's the motor's super smooth. It rides about as quick as a stock 64 Panhead would ride, so there's no cam or anything in this thing, so it's not fast by any stretch. But you know, it's smooth. You know, I've got a couple dozen miles on it so far, and I can tell it's going to be a really good runner. Yeah, so the first and most important person I need to thank is my wife, Stacy. She has a lot of patience with me being out here all the time working on this bike. The second person I want to thank is Alex Ledoux at Kook's Custom Paint. So he did all the paint on this bike, the tins, the frame, nailed it. Third person I want to thank is Big Al. He did a lot of my photography, videography, that kind of stuff. I also want to thank Butt Seats. He hooked me up pretty good with this seat and you know, went the extra mile to modify it for me to fit my sissy bar, so that was pretty sweet. And then sending me all the leather to incorporate on the bike. Yeah, huge shout out to Butt Seats. And I also want to thank so Stu McAndrew and Rob Kelly. They've always helped me when it comes to junk motors and bad transmissions, and I always laugh that I show up in their shop with this like clapped out meth head of a motor, and they, you know, patiently help me take it apart and fix it.